Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 3 speed build, this time for a classic car, and not quite as expensive as some of the other classics of its calibre. The Ferrari 365, 600 grand is a lot, but that's quite a lot less than many of the other older Ferraris, so if you're looking to get your toe in to the classic Ferrari market, it's not a bad one to go for. The Dino is also a good option of course, but this one has more of that full-on GT vibe to it. Now, as far as conversions, engine swaps, that kind of stuff, I would recommend having the 4.5 litre V8. If memory serves, I think that's a 458 engine. Then as far as the drivetrain, you want all-wheel drive. Of course, I always go for that. If you don't want it, of course, that's down to you, but I would recommend it. For aspiration, of course, the twin-turbo. As you can see, I have de-chromed it. I've taken the front and rear chrome bumpers off. That's totally optional. You don't have to do that. As far as the rest, lower the weight as much as you can, increase the power, obviously, as much as you can, and fit everything to the car with race in the title. So tyres, gearbox, diff, suspension, pretty much everything. Now, I don't believe I've fitted the full roll cage on this one. I think I might have gone for like a stage 1 or a stage 2 if memory serves. Oh no, it's stock. So you can go for that if you want to, but as I've said before, it's not entirely necessary for most cars. It's not a bad idea, generally speaking, on older vehicles, but I'll leave it down to you. This car does handle very well anyway, so you don't necessarily need it. Now for the benchmark, it's quick. It's not the quickest of classics, but it's certainly not slow. 2.7 to 60, 5.1 to 100, those are pretty good numbers. 257 flat out. So as I said, it's not the absolute quickest of classics, but it's more than quick enough to give most of them, apart from maybe a D-type Jag, a great run for their money. Now for the gearbox, I would recommend a 3.6 final drive, then individual gears of 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.95 and 0.78. Then for alignment, neutral, camber and toe. Anyone who's used my tunes before, that'll be no surprise to you. You could give it some camber of course if you want to, but it's not entirely necessary for this one. I've gone for, as you can see, 4 degrees of caster, which is basically straight down the line as far as stiff or loose steering goes. As far as anti-roll, we've got those on 31 and 21, springs on 205 and 189 with the lowest possible ride height. Dampers we've got on 15, 14, 7 and 6. Aero does not apply on this one, and for the diff we've got 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, and then, as I often do, a 70% split in favour of the back end. And I do tend to go for that on my older cars quite a bit, because they usually, or not usually, but they do sometimes have a tendency to be a little bit floaty over the front end, a little bit loose. In the case of this car, that doesn't really happen. It has very good handling, but still, you could put it higher if you want to, but it's not entirely necessary. Now, this tune is not on my storefront, so if you want to check it out, obviously, and copy it, you'll have to use this video. Pretty much goes without saying, really. And, of course, all that remains is to take it out on the street to see what it can do. Now, as I've said before, and it's pretty obvious to say, some cars do struggle more than others to hit the benchmark speed. Now, this car can hit 257, and with draft, you could probably take it even higher. But in normal circumstances, you're looking more around 250. It can comfortably get up around 240, 245, 250, but then above that, you'll need a really long road, preferably a downhill section, and even some draft. Plus, good traffic always helps. But overall, that's why the title is more around 250, because it can do 257, but it's more comfortable around the 250 region. It's got that performance when you need it though, and it's a pretty good classic all round as far as handling and straight line performance. So if you do decide to use this tune, I hope you have a lot of fun with it of course, and there are plenty more to check out on the channel. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.